Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about something that I've had to deal with quite a bit over the years as a strength coach, as well as a lifter myself, particularly as a master's lifter, and that is the problem of elbow tendon health and tricep specialization. And again, this is something that one of the first times I dealt with this at any serious level was I had a lifter who came to me, and this was, 3 years ago or so, maybe more. And I noticed in his bench press that his triceps were the weak link. He had a respectable squat and deadlift, and we ended up getting his squat actually to 500. But, and when I say 500, I mean no wraps, no sleeves. We're talking raw. But his bench was stuck at 280. It was stuck at 280, and he's like, I've been at about 270, 280 for a couple of years now. And he's like, I can't push it past there. He's like, even when I gain weight, I gain body fat. He's like, I can bulk, I can put on 20 pounds, and my bench doesn't really go up. And one of the things that I noticed with that was, simply put, his triceps were weak. Okay, he had a lot of pec and shoulder. His triceps were undersized. They were weak. Even with wider grip benching, when we would go to do lockouts, he would struggle with lockouts if he'd miss a lift. His close grip was about 40 pounds behind his wider grip, maybe more. And so we started doing a lot of tricep work, and what happened? Immediately, his elbows flared up. And this is something that I find very, very common in lifters who have a tricep weakness. They also have weak tendons. And what I had to do for him was take him over to doing daily band press downs. Right? We started doing press downs, high rep press downs every single day to alleviate that elbow pain, because he started getting inflamed tendons. And this is also something I found with a lot of lifters who have some elbow tendonitis, something we have to do. And it's just become something I do for a lot of my clients early on. If they don't have a history of having done higher rep band work for press downs, we do it, right? We do it. We do phases of it. Because if we don't, and we go to some of these better tricep exercises, what do you think happens? The elbows get inflamed. And skull crushers are a perfect example. I mean, realistically speaking, and I think everyone realizes this to some extent, is there really a better tricep exercise than a skull crusher in terms of just building your triceps, particularly in a way that'll carry over to your bench press? No, we could make a case for it's probably about the most perfect tricep exercise there is. What's the problem with it? Choose your elbow tendons up. In fact, even when we have good elbow tendon health, we have to rotate that movement out. We can't do it all the time. We can't do it all the time. The same with what? Something like a JM press, like you guys saw me doing here. JM press, great tricep exercise. A little hard on the elbow tendons. You've got to build them up. And how do we do that? With the high rep band press downs. And if I have someone who really has an issue there, we do high reps like 40, 50 plus reps, at least one set, every single day. And you guys notice when I do them, we do them fast. We want an overspeed eccentric. You want it to hit that stretch and then pop back. Why are we doing that? Because it causes micro tearing in the tendons, and it causes an adaptive response. Now, people will say, well, is that good? If we're damaging the tendons a little, then that's a problem. It's like, yeah, but it's adaptive. It does it in a way that helps increase blood flow because of the really high reps. It's doing things that will help thicken up those tendons over time. The problem is that sometimes when we're in a phase of it, we can't do other tricep work. And you guys have seen me do that when I've come back to certain phases of tricep specialization when mine had shrunk or whatever, and I realized I needed to go back to close grip benching. I will have to do that for a phase. Otherwise, I can't come in and do JM presses and things. They just flare my elbows up. And it's the same with a lot of my lifters. And so a lot of times we have to take lifters like that individual, and all we could do for him was a little close grip benching and then the daily press downs. However, after about 6 weeks of doing the press downs every day, his elbows started feeling really good all the time. He's like, I don't have any inflammation. And once we did that, we started closed grip benching about once a week on his max effort days. We started rotating through different tricep extensions. We would do skull crushers, with an easy bar. We would rotate that with dumbbells, right? Dumbbell extensions, things like that. Sometimes we'd work in some band press, cable press downs. And what happened? Over the course of a few months, we built his triceps up and his elbows were no longer hurting, but we had to rotate some of those movements. We can't keep these difficult movements in. We could keep the closed grip bench in. That was fine. The others, not so much. And we had to continue to do some band work for him. And in doing that, what happened? His 280 bench turned into a 320 bench. Now, once he got to 320 and was there for just a little bit, I lost him as a client. We ran into the issues like the first set of lockdowns and things happened. And of course, I lost him as a client at that time. And I actually hope he's doing okay. I haven't heard from him again. I haven't heard from him in, 2 years. But it worked. And so accordingly, one of the things that I oftentimes find, a lot of my lifters, I'll run them through phases of that early on in their training to where we just do normal pressing, whether it's benching, overhead press, all that stuff. And then we do the band press downs. And we do phases of them to build the tendons up. And once we've done that, then we can come in and do some of these really serious tricep exercises. We can come in and do things like JM presses or skull crushers or other similar things that we might do because we've now created the elbow health to do that. And for some people, we need to rotate those movements. We might take the JM presses and change bars. We might do them with a fat bar. I found a lot of my guys, if we rotate in a fat bar for a while, they don't have issues. We can do them against reverse bands. Right? These things all will then work pretty well as long as we rotate it every now and then. These things oftentimes work very well for my lifters, and we continue to do some band work if they need it. But that's kind of a staple in the training for a lot of my people, particularly ones who have a tricep weakness, because I invariably find that people who have weak triceps oftentimes have tendons around their elbow. The tendons of the triceps themselves tend to also not be particularly well developed. And if we don't address that, we start getting inflammation, we start getting elbow pain, and it starts coming out even when they're benching or doing any sort of heavy press. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.